Spiral, 2 Jews, 2 mics, 2 hours, starting now.
Josh, do you want to download the new items now or later? Apple always asks you that. Do you want now or later?
I bet you choose later a lot.
I do. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, I have lied to you very many times.
I know.
But not currently.
I've put a private investigator on you to follow up on most of this.
P.I.?
Yes.
The show.
A dick.
A dick. Has there ever been a show about a P.I.?
No, its time has come.
Why can't we do Sherman Oaks P.I.? I am telling you, I don't write very well. I'm not disciplined. I don't work well with other people. Let's write that show together. Sherman Oaks P.I. I've inherited an investigation. How would I inherit an ongoing detective company that my dad ran?
Sure,
right?
Sure.
Now he's old. In my case, he's dead. But now I'll go back. This will always be younger Andy. It's got to be younger Andy doing this. Right?
Sure.
Is someone going to buy I'm 65 years old and now it's the first year of Sherman Oaks P.I.? Oh, I guess I could do it like Blue
Well,
Book.
no, because they'd have to then buy that your dad was a PI at like 90 something.
My dad was here's the things that weren't true about my dad. My dad was one tough customer. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
You didn't want to look at him the wrong way.
He owned a business, yes?
Yes, he did.
And was
Pilot Gas and Heat.
And was there, what was it called?
Pilot Gas and Heat. My grandfather was a plumber, and my father turned it into a
gas
and heat contracting.
Gotcha. And was there ever any attempt or noise about passing the business down to the next generation?
No, in fact, that's where all of the controversy came from in the family, was my father was not encouraging me to go to the business. And it wasn't like I was like in succession saying, when's the old man going to open it up?
Right.
You know, I had no,
I can't see you having any actual interest in it, but I wondered if it was like some sort of fantasy that he held.
He had no fantasy about it. There was a time period where if I had not moved to Los Angeles, I was thinking about getting my rock band together while I'd be working as a salesman for my dad, you know, to sell things, because I couldn't do anything like knowledge about it,
right.
You know. And then it just, I decided to move. You know, I drove cross country, and that got precluded. I don't think I don't think I would have done that.
Right.
You know,
not for long, probably.
Not for long, but
especially if it was commission based.
Exactly. Now, what happened was, I don't think my cousins listened to this, did they? Nobody in my family.
I don't know. You'd have to tell me that.
Well, I love my cousins, but my cousins wanted to go. What did you say?
I was just laughing at I love my cousins, but.
I love my cousins. I want to use with all due respect more.
Yeah. I don't like that, because you really have to in this day and age, you have to measure what due respect is.
That's right. With all due respect, meaning the person is sentient.
Well, that's one level of respect.
What does sentient mean?
Sentient means aware of the world around them, essentially.
I love that word.
Self-aware.
Self-aware. So me, for example.
Sure.
What happened was that my father went into business with my uncle. And my father was unhappy about going into business with my uncle, as he complained about for his entire life. And a couple nights before he died, my dad died. My mother said, he was like, oh, God, I can't believe, I got to apologize to you again for going into business. You know, he never really and which is, if you've noticed that I have trouble letting things go, I think I know where I got that from. I thought it just came out fucked up.
Right, sure.
Do you know, Josh, that psychiatry in the late 90s, 2000, thought that the prevailing notion was it didn't matter what you did with your kids. It was all genetic. I mean, obviously we know that's not true now, right. But that was a prevailing theory that went on.
I think that was just a theory that was used to calm down parents who fucked up.
So my cousins wanted to go into the business. Not all of them, but they did. And my father did not want to be in business with my uncles. He just didn't want that. He didn't want that to happen.
Right.
It just was like, can we keep the kids? Let's not. So then my father sold the business to my uncle in 1987.
Okay.
And that's where or 86.
And did he officially retire at that point, or did he?
No, he ran, which we thought was hilarious. Well, we still do. GBS supply, gas burner supply. We used to say all the time and love it. GBS supply, which was a parts and thermostats and everything that goes along with the gas and heating business. And he sold that. He enjoyed it very much for a few years because that's when my dad would he was hold court and people would come in and they go, Larry. And then they would, I think I told you the story. They go, Larry, let me go. And you go, who's keeping you here? Who's forcing you to stay here? So he would just make fun of these guys. And he loved going to the deli. That was when he went to the deli. And the guy goes, I saw your son the other day on TV. What a head of hair. I mean, and then my dad had to explain to him that I was using Rogaine at the time. And my dad can't even let the compliment lie.
Did you use Rogaine?
I did. I used Rogaine and Propecia for a long time. Rogaine, I just don't think that did anything.
Yeah.
But Propecia did.
Oh, yeah.
But now I don't do that anymore either.
Yeah.
Because you know why? I'm 65.
Exactly. No one's expecting a full head of hair at 65.
You don't know what this has done for me, Josh. You may joke about this. This is probably my strongest character trait, is my beautiful head of hair. It's not my height. It's not my strength.
Yeah.
But this beautiful head of hair. But so now I'm not so worried what people will see from the back.
Right. Well, or in my case, the top.
You're referring to me, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I stopped the Rogaine. Too many tall friends were going, I can see from here.
All right.
I can see from my tallness over you that this isn't going to work.
Well,
so that's what happened.
Much the same reason you didn't do heroin. I decided not to do hair restoring products when I started to lose my hair.
Well, first of all, you look good with your hair. I mean, it's not like anybody. It's just weird. A lot of people look like, not a lot of people, but some people look like all of a sudden they lost it and you have been used to them for many, many years. Those are the people who want to. But it seemed like it thinned out, and also the hat works.
I think it's more the hat then, because it really, the way I lost my hair was horrible.
What happened?
It was just like the worst pattern baldness ever. It was nothing symmetrical, nothing, so.
But not so great, though.
I wasn't bothered by the fact I was losing my hair so much as it just looked bad, So I'm much happier now that I'm a fully, basically bald man with fringe kind of guy,
and you don't have, yes, I have.
My head turned out better shaped than I thought it would.
That's true. If you had a misshapen head, it might have been.
But considering how much actual hair I had in my heyday, I'm pretty proud. Yeah. I'm pretty proud of myself for making the transition without having some sort of midlife fucking freak out about it.
Well, it's different. I mean, it's like I always pride myself on that. I'm short, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
And I'm not worried about my hair because I have a great head of hair.
Sure.
Easy for me not to be worried about it. I think the bald head thing, which didn't seem as popular as when I was growing up, has really helped a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of people look good that way.
Yeah. And a lot of people not so much. But,
Like, who's the guy, Pitbull? Is that your favorite musician?
Definitely.
I like.
He's more than a musician. He's more than a musician to me. He's a lifestyle.
What is he really?
Yes.
Can you name a?
That's why I'm wearing this white suit right now.
I was wondering. I was going to say something to you. Last week you told me you were very influenced by Tom Wolfe.
Yes.
Is that the right name?
Yes.
And that you would always wear a splendid suit.
I did. Summer I always bring out the seersucker suits.
What is seersucker? And you can answer this for me without taking too much time.
Seersucker is a material that's like a white and a tight white and blue stripe.
And it's light. So is it for
light.
summer?
It's very much a summer sort of thing.
But that's got to be
it has
like
a sort of wrinkled quality to it as well.
Oh, so I know why. Okay, so I get it now. Did that guy buy that suit? Yeah, he's quite a seersucker. Why aren't these jokes funnier, and why do I oversell them?
Those are like Jimmy O's jokes. hanging around Jimmy O's.
We almost went to Jimmy O's before the speech. Me and Susan wasn't sure whether she was going to try and shop on the phone.
Yeah.
It's very inviting over there, so don't get me wrong.
Sure.
It looks like a larger than normal store.
Sure. Absolutely. Big high ceilings.
What is the purpose of that? You're creating a difficulty for yourself now.
Yes.
You're going, I don't know if this, and also
there's a lot of forced perspective hallways where it just actually gets smaller very quickly.
Also, don't go in there and talk to him about the untuckit.com guy because he'll steam.
Sure.
You'll have steam come out of his head. I even don't like the untuckit.com guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I don't have a big argument against it, but
I don't understand your resistance to Jimmy O's if in fact the next step for you in buying a shirt is going to a tailor and having it shortened.
Oh no, I'll go to Jimmy O's.
I'll go to Jimmy O's.
Oh yeah. But I have stocked up on clothing. Apparently here's something now in the medical when the pandemic happened, I had so many clothes for so many wonderful projects.
All right.
And I didn't need to buy any, and I haven't needed to buy new clothes because of the pandemic.
Sure.
But I am with you. I'm not ashamed. He's very pricey over there.
Yeah.
I used to get my stuff. Did they have at the end of the show when I was the host of the pet shop? They kept those wardrobes by Jimmy O's. No, they did. But I got good deals on stuff there.
Yeah.
And then I bought all these suit jackets.
Yeah.
Because the lady who is the wardrobe person goes, oh, no, because the price was good, half price.
Uh-huh.
I don't need these jackets. That was a bad mistake.
Right.
Josh,
Sure.
how many, do you have 8 blazers in your closet, 8 or 9 blazers?
I actually do.
Wow. Because but you didn't have to dress like that as a writer.
No, but it's mostly because I haven't rid myself of old ones, but yeah, I absolutely have that many blazers.
I have my wedding jacket and everything.
I actually like a blazer. I don't like a tie.
Right. A
But I
blazer is
like
nice.
a blazer. I like just because of all the pockets.
I think it's good. I think it's good to have them, but I literally got like ones that look exactly, and a lot of them say Jimmy O's on them. So maybe you trade them in or something.
Sure.
But they make a nice.
You put 3 of them together, you make a real person suit.
Yeah, I need about 5 of those little handkerchief squares.
All right.
Because I need to blow my nose. Do you have anything? What are those called?
Pocket squares.
Oh, okay, yeah. Don't you think when you see that and you haven't seen it in a few weeks, it looks a little much? Or do you think it's always
the only person who I know pulls it off regularly is Josh Mankiewicz. It's part of his styling.
That's true. How about Paul Feig?
Paul Feig, I think Paul Feig's a little over the top.
Okay, so I don't know about suits as much as are your suits bespoke?
No, they know enough to keep quiet.
But did you have to tailor any of them?
I do not own a bespoke suit. I wished that when I was in Hong Kong, I had participated with the other comics and gotten a suit.
I saw that one. That was great.
But I did not have time to do that.
Did Segura buy one?
Yeah, all 3 of the comics got them.
That was a great scene. That was a really good scene. I cannot believe. Do you know that just went platinum? Your documentary.
That's fantastic.
And what do you do with the money? Because the people say it comes in.
I throw it in a jar with the rest.
Okay, I don't know why I preened myself up.
I don't know why you wanted to taunt me about my lack of income.
Because it's your fault. You don't have a rich brother, asshole.
It is my fault. I should have not told on him so often.
Yeah, you notice how you picked on your brother a lot? I didn't. I said, this guy's right. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know what you did, Mom, but this guy's onto something. No, I'm not making fun. Look, I'm just going to say a couple times today before 11:30
that
I can buy and sell you over.
You can, please.
What? It's not even like I think I'm saying something funny. I know that I'm saying things that are uncomfortable, but I'm getting better. I don't even want to talk about this because I feel like I feel like the show is on a roll is how I feel.
Do you feel that
now
way?
you could jinx it.
You could jinx it, but
I could jinx it, and
but now
I'd be
I want
the
to
one.
know. I want to know what you consider a role.
Okay, here's what I consider a role. I was able to listen to that show back, which I still think 269 is it? I don't know.
Yeah.
I loved it,
Good.
and I was able to listen to it all the way through. Now, when
But
I
again,
listened
that was mostly clips of a speech that you were already very proud of.
right, and don't think it didn't annoy me about 45 minutes and was like, when is this fucking guy going to come down from this being so high from this stupid speech? You know, because I was like, yeah, Josh, yeah. I don't know if that's a more attractive person is successful, Andy.
I don't think it's where your bread is buttered. No.
No. So, what were we talking about?
We were talking about last week's show and why we're on a roll.
Oh, okay. So here's what it is. As I listened to that show, even that show, which you have rightly said, I was in a great mood and all this kind of stuff. Even in that show, like I just told you, I would be listening to myself. I didn't like it that I was that excited. I was like yelling at myself for being that excited. So there's no really proper way for me to listen to the show and not get upset about my voice. But the thing is that not upset, but just I don't enjoy it. You know what I remember how I felt awkward. And so when I hear myself awkward, it feels weird. And all of that's ridiculous. The show is on a roll. If I don't call attention to every lull.
Okay.
If I'm not in a bad mood.
Right.
And if you're not, whatever your version of that would be, tired, exhausted, or that we've just,
boring.
or just seems
boring
like we
is
don't.
really the word.
It's boring.
No, I'm trying to sum up my end of it. If tired, yeah. So boring is really the
right, and you have
result of my shortcomings.
Right, and so, you feel like you're boring? No,
I'm just trying to characterize.
Oh, okay. So here's
because it is two ends. It's not just how is Andy that determines how the show is. Because there's two of us.
Right. No, I was trying to get to your. I was trying to get to your side of it, but your side of it, I think I can't mirror people because I've realized that I think everyone.
Well, I think the real thing is that your version of disengagement is very loud, whereas my version of disengagement is very disengaged.
That's true.
You talk.
Right, so,
just because you're talking doesn't mean you're engaged.
No, it does not. I was not going to. I will cop to this.
No, I didn't mean it as a slam. We're talking about this particular thing.
So here's the thing. So if I'm, yes, when you're disengaged, yes, if you've been overworked or you're not happy for whatever reason doing the show, or we're both not happy, it's not ever one person or the other person. So, and now I can't remember when I was so frustrated, but now I realize that there's no magical bullet for it because sometimes you just feel weird and you can just let it go or whatever.
Right.
But the rules of I don't know. I just feel like the rules of the road are, if I can just stay in with the conversation and not spin out into, I'm tired or I'm supposed to, or thinking that I'm the one to come up with the stories, which are all bad. That type of thing.
Right.
So I do think that you can't analyze it. And in fact, people can listen to this part and go, yeah, you guys say you're doing a good show.
And then
why the 15-minute discussion about when it's good or when it's bad? But I would argue that we have a little bit more leeway on this show because our prescription was 2 Jews, 2 microphones, 2 hours.
Absolutely. We're pretty much always on mission.
Right. And we needed that week off in August or whenever it was. We need those weeks off, even though we were working during that week.
Yeah.
But
it sadly wasn't a week off from each other, but yes.
Wait, look, often we go on vacation together. I don't even know why you would pretend that.
We're like Rickles and Newhart.
Now, I always think, is Rickles and Newhart really like that, though?
Yeah.
Because that's what I wanted. I want me and you to be like Rickles and Newhart. More money.
Because it's all, as Rickles always says, it's all about the wives. It's all about the wives. If the wives like each other.
I just never can forget these lines where he goes, my wife, 6 months from now, I'll be dead. My wife will be with Frank Sinatra in the Bahamas, and she'll be going, I'll have the red dress and the jewelry.
Yes, but he did the very much the Barbara voice always. I'll have the red dress and the jewelry.
Oh, yes. His impression of his wife is so great.
Yes.
That
it's very specific.
It makes it seem like Dawn. Oh, but he tells a story about Frank Sinatra throwing stuff around the room or something at some hotel they were at. And he just was really upset. And then she's like, he seems very upset. Is what she said about Frank Sinatra. Wouldn't that make you nervous that this guy could have you killed? That's why I couldn't pal around with him like Rickles did. I'd want to stay away from it.
I think I would find my way into that spot where I could say anything to Frank and he'd laugh.
Right. Well, I'd like to know.
I think I could weasel myself into that Rickles spot. I would deliver it the same way.
Right.
But, but that's the only reason Frank would have me around is because I can speak truth to the king.
The Frank Sinatra is a very interesting man in the sense that he was really had progressive ideas on race and all these things, and then he was kind of a creep.
Yeah.
So he really had almost a Trump side, but he had his talent.
Right. It's almost like he had a third dimension.
Wait, did I miss a joke there?
I just mean, celebrities are people too.
They are people. No. But I think that you have said, or you have made this argument, or maybe I've misheard the argument, that the more that the people who get really, really, sometimes the people who get incredibly successful have personalities that result in them getting that. I mean, that's like Louis C.K. or somebody. Do you know what I'm talking about? Am I saying it right at all?
I don't quite get what you're saying now.
You were saying that early on, you were saying when we were talking about this, that you thought that people who want to be big stars, they have they're almost overly ambitious, and you wouldn't want to be like that. Does that make sense? That ambitious or that crazy ambitious?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think, I don't recall saying it quite like that, but that all jibes with how I feel, really.
Yeah.
I mean, my overall theory of show business success is there is super talented people, and some of them make it, and there's crazy ambitious people, and some of them make it, and then there's a group of super talented, crazy ambitious people, and all of them make it.
Is there no fourth category?
Well, there's not talented.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Not ambitious. No, There's all sorts of other categories, but I'm just talking about showbiz success.
Right.
Those are the feeder groups, pretty much.
Give me the groups again. The one group
super talented.
Yep.
Super ambitious. Both.
Oh, okay. A good combo.
Yeah.
And sometimes, but we know that if the ambition in that equation, if the person is crazy with ambition,
right,
they can get further.
The talented person with crazy ambition is the one that goes the farthest.
Right, and the untalented person
with crazy ambition sometimes gets through.
And so when I used to be in comedy clubs, I don't know why I took succor from this, was that, when people would say, oh, they didn't say it to me, but they go, say what you will about Carrot Top, or say what you will, they're very commercial and they're doing the good. But the truth was, most of those acts just did well at clubs. You know what I mean? There was a certain justice to the fact that a lot of mediocre acts don't rise. The cream doesn't rise to the top.
Well, yeah, because they aren't the cream.
They aren't the cream.
Right. Killing in a club in Cincinnati has nothing to do with show business. But
you wouldn't know that unless you had experienced it or saw it. If I told you that,
absolutely. And our view of fame has, I assume, both changed in terms of, you have to see what it is to know if you actually want it.
Right. Right.
And fame itself has gotten so much less attractive over the course of our time in show business.
Yeah, it's like dox. It's like you're doxed. You want to be famous, you want to be doxed.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Are you doing very, very well? Many people know where you live off Laurel Canyon now. Right. Is that good? Is that what you want? I don't want, to draw more attention. I don't know. I got confused there at the end, but I was just doing okay there for a minute. See, this is what I do all the time. I evaluate, and then I realize the fact that I think what I just said isn't good or isn't important, and is also what's it called? The source of my, trying to make people happy when you're trying to make people happy.
Right.
That's what I'm still kind of not shocked by, but that I still could get so down from like a person not reacting to a joke. And yet I claim that because I do think that there's something about comedy that if someone's not laughing, there hasn't been a joke told or something like that. So it's like weird that I would be so like claiming that I'm always out there doing the material that I believe in, but yet I can't, I still, after 35 years, the silence, I feel like I have to comment about it.
Well, because the silence it means you're wrong.
Yes.
And you don't like being told you're wrong. I mean, no one does.
No one does.
No one does, but that's in my head right now just because Laurie Kilmartin just tweeted something about how some comics are, real comics don't talk about making the audience laugh. They talk about getting a laugh because that means we beat you.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I wrote back, I definitely am in the get a laugh camp, but I just want it because it means I'm right.
Right, yeah.
And that really is that's the only satisfaction I get at this point. I don't need I'm not seeking the approval anymore.
Well, also,
and I don't see it as adversarial. I see it as that was like the one when I was 15. Joel Hodgson taught I met Joel at a club, and it was when he was coming back from his exile, and he taught this class that I was in, this creativity class. And really the only thing I came away with in my head still 30 years later is the idea of it not being an adversarial relationship, that the audience is just this unorganized group of people in the dark,
Right.
And to me, it's evolved in my head as just a simple question of leadership,
Yes.
It's like an audience seeks leadership, and the more you can provide leadership, the more resistance they'll drop,
Yes.
And that can come in many forms and shapes, but it is just a basic feeling that I'm in control of this. Relax.
Yes. And I feel like for me, I would try to explore the adversarial relationship with humor.
Sure.
If it's going well.
Sure.
But even that gets old. I mean, I'm just talking honestly. It does get old to me if 40 minutes. And it used to be I dropped a whole bunch. I had like so many things about jokes not working.
Right.
I had so many lines about it. But it just became, it's like, I don't know if you ever completely get over your Achilles heel. And I mean, I haven't yet completely gotten over it.
Right.
I haven't completely gotten over what happens when there's no laughs. Like even when we were doing that speech thing, I felt isolated because I couldn't hear things. And I had to remind myself, oh, no, it's going fine. But I still couldn't stop myself from reacting to every moment.
Yeah, but that's but that is who you are on stage.
That's the shtick. Yeah.
And it's not like you've had a bunch of stage time to think about it and work on it or, try to be different in the last 3 years.
That's funny though. I always think of that one gig I did at the one gig I did, which was for Just for Laughs. I was hosting the show,
right?
Remember? And I was like so unprepared, and it's like,
and they kept bringing out a clean mic for the next act, and then you grab that mic too, and you were holding both, and you had one tucked under your armpit.
It's unbelievable. That's the only show I've done in a club, and you're not going out, right? You went to in town, I mean.
No, I haven't done a set in town since pre-pandemic.
It just doesn't sound attractive. I mean, it doesn't. There's not enough.
Well, there's absolutely nothing I would get from it at all, except for frustration and dread leading up to it, and then a sense of emptiness afterwards.
Well, do you think that's ever going to change? I mean, it feels like when I was watching the Mets game, and I was realizing. Of course, it's easy now to say this because they're doing so well. But I was like, oh, this is exciting. And none of them seem to be getting sick. Like, weren't they all getting sick last year?
Yeah, I think we're in a different phase.
Right. So we are in a different phase. So it's going to become an endemic thing more.
Yes.
Right? Or,
yes.
And these like anti-vax people are so stupid. I mean, I hate to say it like that. No, they're stupid. And when they say things like, there's so many of them on Twitter. They're not bounced off Twitter, these anti-vax people. They're on Twitter. And they'll say, Joe Biden got COVID again. And he's been vaxxed.
Right.
And that's the point, you fucking idiots.
Right.
That's the point. He's not going to get really sick.
Right.
Is the point. I'm sorry. I'm okay now.
He's not going to end up at Walter Reed like the last fella.
They're calling him TFG, which to me is too nice a thing to call him. The former guy. That's an acronym.
I thought it was that fucking guy.
I bet it is. Maybe I went to the wrong search thing. That fucking guy. I do feel very old when the acronyms come too fast and far. POTUS. It took me many years to get POTUS or SCOTUS.
Yeah, those I had for a long time. But
is it generational? Is it like there's so many more words now that kids have to have acronyms?
Well, I think some of it is if you're a West Wing viewer too. You soak up a lot of those acronyms during watching the West Wing.
You were not a West Wing. You were a West Wing.
I was, yes.
Yeah,
I liked it till it started to not be good.
Now you wouldn't. Wouldn't you say it's harder to if you saw a new Aaron Sorkin series coming out? Well, because the ones he had after him weren't very good, but you wouldn't be so excited about him because of your kind of. I've had it with his style in a way. I'm talking about myself. I'm asking you, I guess.
No, I would expect it to be terrible. I mean, that would be my expectation, but because I don't like his writing anymore. I liked it in the West Wing, but I've heard 20 years of it since, and it hasn't evolved. It's, he uses the same rhythm and same phrases, and
Right. And now, without getting back into the argument about Adam, what is his name?
I don't know.
Adam, the famous guy, McKay.
Okay, right.
I felt
that shows you how not ready for an argument about him I was.
No, I feel like he doesn't write those movies well. Well, hey, maybe I need to watch more of them. That's my gripe, but I don't think it's a true gripe because I think I have weird anger about it. Which
you do seem to have an extra baggage in terms of your.
You know what? And it's another one of these things. Like this has happened to me entirely in my life. I build up these things against people who I didn't like that much, and then I see them at an event and they're nice to me, and then I'm like, I think that they've changed. No, you've changed. Well, I haven't changed completely, but I'm better. Let's just say I'm better.
I'll say you're better.
My condition is better.
Absolutely. I've checked in on to see how your condition is.
I know. Who is that? I love that song.
Kenny Rogers in the fifth or whatever dimension. Fifth edition?
You can't hate Kenny Rogers. You have to kind of enjoy him, but I can't think of any song except for Hold 'Em When You Hold 'Em.
Yeah. There's Coward of the County. There's
I Am a Lineman for the County?
No. Coward of the County.
I don't know that one.
All right. There's Islands in the Stream with Dolly.
Oh. With who is it with?
With Dolly Parton.
And then they do the thing where they yeah. It's good. I love those duos. One is with Bill Medley and somebody. Was a big one. I got the whole of my life.
Yes,
and I've tell this way with you before.
Yeah.
And I say,
yeah, please stop.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Do you know, Josh? I know you're getting angry at me because why wouldn't you? I mean, well, how could you not?
I'm not angry.
I know, but there seems to be almost annoyed. There seems to be a number of commercials where they're out of tune. They're singing out of tune. Not just one.
Yeah.
The one with a couple of commercials where I was watching the Mets. They were going, had a bunch of out of tune people singing Meet the Mets.
But just people on the street.
Just people on the street.
Yeah.
Why is that? That's not my sensitive, my brilliant ears, my genius, level ears, when I hear that cacophony of discordia, if that's a word, it upsets me on my Mozart level.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
The Chopin with it.
Mozart 2, are you talking about?
What does that mean? Is that one of the people watching?
Yes, yes.
I thought that was a movie that I had. Have you seen the new Paul Newman thing? I watched a little bit of it. It looks good.
I did see it. Yeah. What'd
you take?
I liked the information I got from it. I got a little Ethan Hawked out.
Yeah, I thought that might happen.
There was a little bit too much of the preciousness that he brought to the table with it all, and the zooming and those sorts of things.
Oh, okay.
But it's worth watching. I watched the other the Netflix Woodstock 99 thing this weekend too, and I think I liked the other HBO doc better.
Which was about the same thing?
Yeah, same thing.
Oh.
Although the HBO doc dipped more into the have your cake and eat it too aspect of sort of criticizing it for highlighting all the naked girls and yet using tons of that footage in the doc nonetheless.
You know, one of our listeners, Rose Marie, one of our listeners, has pointed out to me that I've always gotten that expression wrong.
Which
and
expression?
Most people get it wrong.
Which expression?
You can't eat your cake and have it too, is what the expression should be. Because if you say you can't have your cake and eat it too, yeah, you can have it and then you eat it later. But you can't eat your cake and have it too. That's what Rose Marie says, and she's very bright. And I don't know. You want to check on that?
No, I'd rather continue to use the common usage and not stop conversations. Because everyone, I mean, I think it's an interesting fun fact, Rosemary, for sure.
Right. Well, she did it to me. She told me in a direct message.
But it's like,
to me, it was like fascinating.
Yeah.
Like I was like, yeah, I never knew that. But then I wondered, is she right? I think she's right, but then I didn't go further to check to see if. But definitely the common usage now is
have your cake and eat it too. And
I've never heard it the other way.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where the larger meaning of it supersedes the actual words, I say. That's almost where that's just become a symbol for a certain thing.
What's the larger meaning?
The larger meaning is sort of being hypocritical in your behavior, you know.
I just really thought it was like
if you're against racist jokes and then I tell a racist joke that someone else tells and get a laugh from it.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean? That's having my cake and eating it too.
Yeah, but I'm going to have to do some research and bring this up next week when it's stale, when the topic is stale. The cake. Do you know what the actual story is in that song where they leave the cake out in the rain? Is it a story?
It's a story I'd never stay for the end of.
I love it though.
I hate that song. It's a horrible song.
It's the worst song in the world.
Because,
it really is bad.
I mean, it's bad from the first line. Someone left a cake out in the rain, because right there, it's a great image, but it's not an image you can get over.
I thought the first line was babies left the day the circus came to town.
Whatever. I don't know.
I don't think that's the same song.
It's MacArthur Park is the song.
No, but the one I was doing was, don't cry out loud. Just keep it inside. Learn how to hide your feelings. Why do they?
This is like Ed Krasnick sings.
Ed Krasnick is a condition that you can get. There's nobody funnier than him. But if you spend 20 minutes with him, you will be Ed Krasnicking the rest of the day. And you won't be able to stop.
It's a tough cadence to shake.
That's why Susan would say that when Ed and I did stuff together, she said there was almost no separation in character between you two.
Yes.
You know, like when we first started the show, she was not worried about it. She was wondering, would it be two people who sound exact? But we don't talk the same at all. We're Jewish.
Yes.
But we don't have the same speech patterns at all.
No. I'm much more Midwestern newscaster than East Coast Jew in my delivery.
And I think you can see how the Midwest took off, because when you hear a Jew like me, It's funny for a couple of seconds, but then it's like, is he ever going to let it go? Or is my thing not even thick at all now? I mean, you wouldn't know I was from New York?
I think you would know you were from New York, but you're not in character.
Not in character. I would say I am in character.
I would just say East Coast Jew is what you present.
That's exactly the line I used in the pilot I did with Janine for a show that didn't go on, but with Janine Garofalo, when I was saying to her, "Do you like Nirvana?" And she went, "Nirvana, Andy, Nirvana." And I said, "Yeah." What she meant was, "You stupid East Coast Jew." It's Nirvana. Is that what I got it wrong?
It is Nirvana, yes.
So Nirvana is what someone in New York would say, coffee, Nirvana.
No, I mean, yes, perhaps, but it's still someone wrong in New York.
Do you do a lot of verbal agree? That's the thing that Chuck Todd does, right? The verbal jokes.
Yeah, it's just that his don't line up at the right spots. That's why it's he will make the noise when someone's still talking. It's because
he's not listening.
Because he's like not listening. He's waiting for his next opportunity to speak or to tell them that it's time to go to a commercial.
It is amazing. We live in a country which has so many high production values in a certain way. You know, there's so much competition for every job on TV, and yet that guy got through.
I know. I know.
He's so boring. I feel bad for Andrea Mitchell now because I never liked her, and I do think she has some cognitive problems.
Yeah.
Which is fine because it's not like her mind is going, but it's not going to get better.
Right.
This is the worst conversation. What I'm saying to you, Josh, is I don't like when people age.
You don't want to assign irrational incompetence.
Yes.
See, because she's married to Alan Greenspan.
I got it. Right before you said irrational exuberance. Can you imagine that marriage? Talk about fun.
Yeah. If only it were a podcast.
You know, Josh, I absolutely believe that I know that these people are right. Like Jake Sherman. He's a Republican. He's a right-wing guy. He's like this guy who has a thing called Punch Bowl.
Yeah.
And he's obviously, and I'm not wrong about it. I would go on a trial. I would take a lie detector test about it because he says every time, he's the type of person every time he goes, you know, the Republicans are on the precipice of winning back both houses.
Yeah.
He goes out of his way to, even as all of this, would you bet on the election in November now? Would you bet on it? Would you know what was going to happen? You couldn't.
No, but I could. I would bet. I mean.
Oh yeah, you could. I mean, we hope.
I would bet Republican House, Democratic Senate.
Okay, but I'm more of a. Here's my feeling. Like, the more not you, but the more they keep saying, "Well, it looks like the Republicans." It's like they're.
You believe in a self-fulfilling prophecy, but I don't know if that's necessarily the case.
That may not be true. You're right. Is it a self-fulfilling?
I think it can also be a scare tactic.
True, but don't you think that Hillary Clinton? I mean, to me, Hillary Clinton clearly lost. She didn't lose. Did she lose?
Well, yeah,
I forget.
Yeah.
Okay, but there were a lot of
Trump
voters.
Became president.
Yeah, I do.
Also, Obama, he became president instead of her.
If she hadn't had all of those years of people hating her from the Republicans,
right?
She would have won.
I think that's true. I think almost anybody else would have beaten Trump, man or woman. But because there was such a baked-in 25, there was a 25-year baked-in hatred of Hillary bashing from the biggest voices for so long. You know?
Although I do believe that
except for Trump. Trump wasn't a Hillary basher until he was up against her.
Oh, no, he was a different person before he went completely crazy. He was always like, you know. But the thing that makes me upset is like I heard this comic. I don't know what his name was. Was like he was like saying, yeah, you know. He goes, I actually believe that Hillary Clinton is a little bit unpleasant. You want your president to be unpleasant. In other words, like she's not the greatest, like nicest person in the world, but she would have been so fucking competent in that job. She would have done that job so well. I don't believe the Clintons are evil. And then they had all that stuff with the Clinton Foundation. Well, I know he's, a little loose with the thing, but they went on the Clinton Foundation. All of that was bogus.
Yeah.
And all the news networks went with it. CNN, they all went with there must be something wrong with this foundation. But there isn't something wrong with the foundation. I could be too Pollyannish because I'm a Democrat.
You probably are, but I think it's somewhere in the middle, obviously. I mean, I think there's plenty of cynicism in the Clinton household, but I also, I think she was a really smart, really capable, really unbelievably qualified person to be president.
And look at their kid. Their kid's pretty fucking great.
I guess.
Chelsea.
I really don't follow her. So
I know. I'm going the whole route.
She says good things in public. I have no idea if she's a raging problem or not.
I don't know why I go the extra step. I overextend myself.
She seems like a nice girl who's been raised well. Yes, I agree.
Well, but then
and she married a nice Jewish boy.
The George W. Bush daughters don't seem they seem pretty nice.
Yeah, they don't seem too bad.
Yeah. When they look back at this time period, I really do think that there will be a lot about how George Bush Sr. and George Bush Jr., between the both of them, were the worst, maybe the worst presidents because of how bad they were at choosing people. The people they surrounded themselves with are like world-class fuckers, like the typical, who's the guy? Carl Rove. We're going to surround ourselves with all these hideous, disgusting people.
All right.
And if you go by who he picked, the Supreme Court, he picked, Clarence Thomas to replace Thurgood Marshall. And every pick, he had Rumsfeld and then George W. I think that almost destroyed our country. Those two people. Okay, forget this theory.
Yeah. I mean, I can't put them ahead of Trump in terms of horror.
That's right. I forgot about him. I thought he was out of the picture.
I really feel like they were well within the bounds of presidential behavior, at least. I mean, I agree that but they weren't the first people to bring slime bags into the house.
But these people who still like him, I kind of hate their guts now. I used to try and be more.
Well, it's over the line of reasonable now. There isn't an excuse you can assign to somebody for being a Trump supporter anymore.
Right. And they're just like, I think the people in Wyoming who are voting against Liz Cheney, she's a turncoat.
Yeah.
But they don't talk like that.
No, it's a weird fucking cult. It's not based on anything, on reason anymore. It is truly, truly a cult.
And getting worse by the day. But I do think that the midterms...
Well, it's getting worse by the day because the only context you hear about Trump now is crime. And so anytime you have all these people rallying behind the criminal,
The thing, though, about Josh is that I don't understand why he went so bad when he has these great people around like Bernie Kerik or Giuliani.
Sure.
When you have people like you go to the wall for those people.
Right.
And they seem to have let him down.
Right.
Too much sarcasm too soon?
Not the too soon, too late, really.
Well, I'm not saying I could have an orgasm or masturbate over it, but I do fantasize about Giuliani and Trump going to prison. I just love that image in my head.
Yeah.
Do you think either one of them will go? I think that I don't know. Trump will be in prison.
I don't think Trump. I think Trump will. I think at worst or best, depending on how you look at it,
he'll be barred from running for the rest of.
Well, he'll be barred from running, and I think there might be a house arrest situation.
Oh, that's right. Susan was saying they have to have the Secret Service, even if he's in prison.
I think that's probably true.
That's a great show.
Yes, it is.
Really, Secret Service. Why did we take this job? With the spoon on the thing. So that's why I don't write sketches. Yeah. I do laugh. I think it's a bad trait to fantasize about Trump in prison, but I think it's, it's like I'm not like fantasizing about him being chopped up by a meat cleaver.
No, but I think the craving for justice to occur is a natural human instinct at this point. I don't think
Right,
it's just.
right.
I don't think it's just free floating Schadenfreude. I think this is someone who's wronged our country and deserves some comeuppance.
And almost at a he does it in a spectacular way.
Yeah, I mean, he tried to do it in a future altering way.
Right. And then the stuff with this top secret stuff, I don't know if that top secret stuff is just stuff he took because he wanted to take. Who knows? He's a pack rat. Did you know he was a pack rat? That he stores all the. First of all,
Yeah, anything with his fucking name on it gets saved, it seems. But,
he says they're grabbing papers off of a table. He's talking to Putin and he grabs the papers.
Yeah. No, but all of that goes out the window because he was subpoenaed for all of them, said he sent it all, and didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
But these Republicans who still defend him now, they're lower than the lowest of the low. How low is that? Right in your face.
I think you said it. I said I can't describe a lower low than what you just described.
And Marco Rubio. I mean, there's so many scummy people.
You can have your low and eat it too.
I was just thinking about sweet. But Josh, what's wrong with you? What's wrong?
Timmy's trapped in a well.
Did Timmy ever get stuck in a well specifically?
I don't know.
Do you think that the barking dog should make you cut the show off?
I will.
Would you
soon.
feel like?
I will soon. I just wanted, but before I forget, I just wanted to. The one thing I learned over the weekend. Well, I learned a couple things.
Oh, great!
I made a pork shoulder. I did a braised pork shoulder yesterday.
I would be scared to eat it. I bet it's great.
Why would you be scared to eat it?
Oh, I mixed up because I hate. Why do I hate pork chops? Is it the cut of the meat?
Probably because they're prepared poorly when served.
Prepared poorly.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're dry and leathery and chewy.
Yeah. Okay. So the shoulder is not.
No, the shoulder is like is pulled pork essentially.
Ooh.
I learned that a pork butt and a pork shoulder are the same thing.
They just don't want to say butt.
I guess. Well, it's actually from the shoulder.
Oh, I see.
No, the actual butt is like where you get bacon and all the good shit. But and then I made like pulled pork French dip sandwiches for dinner. It was really, really
that
good.
must have been heaven. Was it heaven?
It was damn good.
Man, and is there any other tips you can tell me about pulled pork?
It's an easy dish to make.
Why don't we see it as much? Well,
you see it at barbecue places.
The Bonehead, that's not the name of that place. Boneyard has it, right?
Yes.
But I don't remember ordering pulled pork in L.A. Do you order it a lot in L.A. or it seems like something more?
I don't because there's other stuff I like from barbecue places more. But this wasn't a barbecue. This wasn't exactly a barbecue dish. This was braised. So
what's the difference? I don't understand.
Well, barbecue would be on a barbecue.
Okay, and braising is in a pan?
Braising is in a pan with liquid, steaming. Oh. Yeah.
You would have thought I would have gotten that distinction earlier than now.
Maybe, just knowing me.
Yeah, because you said braised before.
Sure.
But it took me 6 months to learn sous vide. I'm still struggling with that.
Right.
Do you still
I've
sous
moved
vide
on.
up?
I do occasionally, but I'm into this whole braising thing right now.
Tell me about how you braise. It's like in the oven, or is it on top?
In the oven, in a Dutch oven, a covered big pot.
Oh,
with liquid at the bottom, and then the thing has been seared and then placed, not submerged in the liquid, but placed in the liquid, and then it cooks for 3 or 4 hours.
Beautiful. How
it
come
fills your house with aromas.
But do you get up? I mean, there's a part of me, the Jewish part of me, it still has a problem with pork.
Really?
Just on the story of the fact that if you don't cook it right, you get trichinosis.
Well, first of all, that's not really true anymore.
Oh, it isn't? Okay.
It's really not.
Chicken will get you more sick, probably.
Chicken will probably get you more sick, yeah. Trichinosis is pretty much out of the equation now.
Not polio. That's coming back.
Polio's on its way back.
Yeah.
But I like pork because it's really good.
I know.
Yeah.
But you know that pork that I had in New York when I grew up with
I especially
Chinese...
like heritage pork.
What's that?
I like heritage pork more than big industrial farm pork. There is a big flavor difference.
What is heritage?
Heritage is just small producers that use old bloodlines instead of the genetically industrial hog bloodlines.
Right, but in New York, all of the pork I had when I was a kid was barbecue pork fried rice. That was the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah.
But I got used to it being red on the outside and white in the inside.
Right.
So I have like this weird thing, and that was all fake.
If you dye it, and it's going to be more red. That wasn't actually a smoke ring on most of those things.
Yeah, but do you still, when you order like barbecue pork at a place, I still am used to that. Is it not made that way anymore?
Some Chinese places will.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good.
But you do get a pink ring when you smoke stuff, but generally not that glowing pink that happens at a Chinese.
Oh, you're talking about on the actual meat. I didn't even understand what you were saying.
Yes.
So it is an effect. It's an actual.
Yes. When you smoke something, there is you get what's called a smoke ring, which is sort of that outer kind of orange ring, and that actually is an indicator that it's been fully smoked for some reason. I don't know the chemical effect of it, but I know the practical effect of it.
But I didn't realize that the Chinese food that I was eating then is not, according to people like Lou, I can't remember the owner of Acme,
Louis Lee.
He says that New York, is it he who says that? He says New York is not one of the best Chinese places.
No, it's not.
It's not. And you don't realize that till you have other stuff, right? Or, well, out here's not so great. I guess it's
if you
the dim sum.
Yeah, if you go to Monterey Park, you have some of the best in America.
Yeah.
Like here in Seattle and Vancouver are apparently really great centers of bona fide Chinese cuisine.
So that's the only thing that you have you crave that sometimes. You wish you could be back there in the Hong Kong area just for that.
I don't crave it, but I loved it. I'm not walking around going, this isn't authentic. I fucking order it and eat it and enjoy it.
I don't like a lot of the Chinese food out here. I don't like it that much, so I don't know where to go. Really,
I go to Bamboo.
I know.
You don't.
I got to make. You know what? I order something once, it doesn't come the way I want it, and so I think it's my fault.
Yeah,
it's probably great, and I'm missing it.
Well, I've had lots of great meals there.
You know, I'm trying to find ways for you to hang up on me.
I know.
That was Allison singing, and Josh and Tommy and I searching for breath.
Here's the thing. I was almost ready, but I said, you know what?
Why do you type ready if you're not? Why type it?
Why type what?
Ready. Why type
no,
it?
No,
Why
no,
send
no, I'll
it?
tell you what. No. Okay, I was lying about that. I was ready in that when I hit ready, I was already at preferences, sound preferences. But then all of a sudden I go, I forgot the books. So I go, that asshole's not going to call back in 1 minute, is he? Can you give me a couple of minutes to get ready? That asshole was just my character.
I understand. You have to call me something.
I don't think that should be. Also, I spent 20 minutes today. Am I a little bit off to the thing?
A little bit.
I want you to be comfortable during this.
It's good. I like it's the only time you have the illusion of being taller than me when I look up at you like this.
First of all, nobody says when they drink. I'm adding a sound.
You say it every time.
I'm adding a sound like I'm doing radio. Is it radio?
No, I don't think you're doing it for radio. I think you do it.
Okay, ready? Tell me to take a sip of my coffee.
Hey, Andy.
So what's new with you?
Not much. Why don't you take a sip of your coffee and we'll
I'd
chat.
love to. It's perfect temperature now.
Yeah.
So that time I didn't do it.
No.
What kind of a bit do I think that was?
I don't know.
Now I remember. I used to get bitter about why I wasn't on the sketch shows, why I wasn't hired.
All right. That's what age gives us, is a little clarity.
Clarity. And what was good for us and what was not so good for us.
Yes. Some things went the way they should have.
Went the way of I wish I could think of one. Give me one thing that, okay, I can't think of one thing. The whirlybirds? No. Went the way of the steam train? Went the way of the, what's an extinct bird? The dodo. Isn't that was going? Went the way of the dodo bird.
Really? I thought you really wanted a cue for dodo? I thought that's what this is all headed for. I thought this was all trying to avoid the word dodo.
Why, do we use that too much? Hey, we should use Taylor Negron, who I love him so much. And he passed away. So
Wasn't it Negron?
Taylor Negron. Taylor Negron?
It wasn't Negron?
Oh, I think you might be right. I mean, I certainly am not going to the wall like...
I always heard it as Taylor Negron.
Taylor Negron. It has to be how it is. I'm not going to go to the wall like Chris Matthews used to go to the wall and say, it's Cheney. He'd stop the whole broadcast. It's Cheney. And he'd yell at people, it's Cheney.
Who did this?
And then the other night I heard her say it, and she did kind of say Cheney. And when she was at her thing. Okay, can we get past this?
Who was it who used to correct the Cheney?
Chris Matthews.
Okay.
I think it's a good sign that you do not remember him anymore.
I remember him, but I don't. He doesn't live rent free in my head like yours.
Well, what do you think about Brian Stelter getting the axe?
I think it's a huge void in the critical eye.
Well, I was reading stuff about them, and it got me even more sick. Stelter was a great friend with Jeff Zucker.
Yeah.
Jeff Zucker, if CNN already wasn't ruined, he certainly tried to ruin it some more.
Yeah.
And then in the 2016 election, I'm just saying this because I think I'm going to die penniless. Not penniless. Why do they say penniless? That would be a good thing. That's a Seinfeld joke. But when I die, oh, God, this is so terrible that I just said to myself, I'm going to make you forget what you're talking about. Okay, I'm going to use my thing early. What is it?
Brian Stelter.
Yeah. So Brian Stelter, he was on the year that Trump was running for office in 2016. I used to have online arguments with him all the time because this guy's like supposed to be covering elections and stuff. And then he's bantering with Trump. How do you have so much energy after you were on all night? Oh, just saw you on Morning Joe. You remember how he was on Morning Joe, Trump every day?
Yeah.
You remember how he was on CNN would show every single thing he did? Remember, there was one thing, the worst one they did was like, he was going to say whether or not he was a racist or whether or not Obama was from America.
Uh-huh.
And then at the end he goes, oh, okay, then I'm settling it. I brought it up and I'm settling it now. He's from here.
No, others brought it. Others brought it up.
Others brought it up. And then for 4 hours, they had CNN locked into him. And that's because of Jeff Zucker. But Brian Stelter, I thought that was unbelievable that a journalist would be, I mean, he was bantering, he was arguing with me. He goes, hey, look, I'm not just a journalist. I'm also, and he was kind of saying, I'm also an entertainment reporter. But that was during the time period where they were sucking up to Trump. And I think almost every single thing that happened that was bad like that was another thing where you go, right there, that lost the election to Hillary. Right there, that CNN spent weeks, right. And that Morning Joe Scarborough had him on like 5 days a week. So that's what Brian Stelter was doing. And then,
but I also would say, I'm sorry, go ahead, finish. No, you finish because
and then Brian Stelter, but then 2 years later, Brian Stelter's like, this man is the most dangerous man ever in the history of America. Like he just thought of it.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, my only counterpoint to that, because I agree that it was, I was enraged at the time about the amount of coverage he was getting.
Yeah.
But I think it's also, looking back, it is illustrative of the guy's fucking power.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He has the power to fucking enthrall people,
That probably is true. I probably am full of shit because let's say I was in Don Lemon's place. Imagine me, I'd be like Don Lemon, and you go, was Andy Kindler like trading barbs with Trump? You saw him laughing, right? Oh no, I would not at all be liable to his, what does he do to you to get you going?
Immune. He wouldn't be immune to his wiles.
Yeah, but he kind of like makes you, there's something about it that he gets you in there somehow.
Yeah.
He fake jokes around or something.
It's a narcissistic superpower that he has.
He really does.
And that's what I mean. It's like, it was totally fucked up, the coverage he got. And yet I think looking at the whole thing, we go, all right, well, we saw through him, but clearly there is some kind of magic that this fucking guy has to enthrall people.
But not the kind of magic like David Copper. Well, not David Copper, but close-up magicians.
No, it's not a, but it is that, I believe it is that finely honed a skill as close-up magic.
I think you're right. But then the other thing is like, since we see through every single thing and can almost like see him getting into his various. Remember when he was at the convention with the coal?
Sure.
He was like coal.
No, I mean, once you see him, it's like every single thing is this deliberate piece of psychological business he's doing, Right.
But
I can't explain it because, I mean, the easiest way to explain it is people are just fucking idiots,
Yes.
How could you not see through this guy? But clearly there's another level to it that doesn't penetrate us, but penetrates others.
That's true. But
I paid plenty, as much as I was raging at it, I still paid plenty of fucking attention to him during the thing too. It wasn't like I could tune him out. I wasn't given the option to tune him out.
No.
Except for tuning away from news,
Right. So, no, I mean, I think that, except that I think, and if I'm well, of course he doesn't care, but if I'm yelling at a journalist in the moment, you're being fooled by him. You're not supposed to be friendly with him. And then he's saying, I'm an entertainment reporter. I just feel like, and then here's the other thing that would happen to me. And let's put aside all of my arguments and stuff. But what I would say to Maggie Haberman, I'd say, he's Hitler. This guy's Hitler. And they go, oh, well, I certainly don't agree with that. She would argue with me at some point. Yeah. I certainly don't agree. Because and Jake Tapper would argue with me, and he would argue with America. Jake Tapper used to say, I think it's terrible how, horribly the Trump supporters are being treated. He actually said that. That they, they have a right. They're Americans. And they have a right to vote and all that kind of stuff. Okay, I can see your eyes going.
No.
No, but I think I'm done there.
No, I love playing 6-year-old things over and over.
I know it's more like me as a 6-year-old over and over. The Mets lost yesterday.
Did they?
It was a painful one.
Ouch.
Because here's the thing: when I'm watching the Mets and I'm watching MLB, and it's the Mets announcers, Hernandez. Oh my God, Ron Darling used to pitch, and this other guy I like, Gary. Now I'm watching the Atlanta Braves announcers, and they're like, "Oh, we could really use a run this inning." Fucking homers! I scream at them. You homers! Where's your objectivity? You know what I mean? Like, it's like you don't notice.
Why are local sports announcers never have objectivity?
Never have what?
Objectivity. Vince Scully.
No, that's what I mean.
Vince Scully was Dodger blue all the way.
I know, but that's what's so funny about it. It was like I reacted like a regular fan to it. Because like once I wasn't my people, and then I realized, how can I get my people all the time? Is there a way to get my people? I don't even understand how it works. How many do they have clones of these people? Like they have the team has their own announcers. Is that I'm wrong about that? Each team.
Well, each team has a TV deal with a local provider, and that local provider hires the announcers for the games.
Oh, is that so? That's SNY or whatever.
Right.
The thing is, okay.
Right. And so when you're watching on the MLB network, they're going to take the home feed.
Right. But who's paying the home guys, you're saying?
The TV network of.
Oh, not MLB. Not MLB.
No.
Oh, okay. Okay. So what do you think Keith Hernandez is pulling down? He's got to be getting $1 million a year, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably maybe even a couple even.
But here's
those
the thing.
Those are big TV deals in New York.
Oh, that's right. So that also matters too, right? If it's the
market
area
size,
that you're in.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm the only comic in the world that goes, so you're telling me if I stayed in Winslow, Arizona and did comedy that I would not have gotten as much exposure? What is that, a hayseed? Or is it more of a...
I don't know. The Winslow, Arizona thing was the thing that
I went the other way. You went with Jackson Brown standing on a corner in Winslow, Arizona. Right. Did you ever imagine that you were Jackson Brown? Like,
no.
I had never had that experience in my life.
No.
I never had an experience where a woman, first of all, where I was hitchhiking like that and not getting caught by the cops. And then a woman in a flatbed Ford, she comes back.
By the way, that's the Eagles. I know Jackson Brown helped them write it, but.
I think it's a Jackson Brown song.
Take it easy. Think it through.
I'm starting to
think it through.
Let me explain it to you, okay? Let me explain it to you.
Jackson Brown lived downstairs from those
but
guys.
Let me explain it to you. It's everything about my ego now because I love, and I have a friend who writes for the Eagles.
Yeah,
so now you see, she started it, right?
Uh-huh.
Jack Tempchin. I started into that, and then I get Blowhardy going. I can feel him percolating. Okay. He's like, because I'm confused about something. Because I think there's a lot about how Jackson Brown was having trouble getting his own career going.
Yes.
So, and that he never, and some people say they thought he would be much huger, which I think he was pretty huge. But I mean, it's like he was like considered to be coming from, he was great looking. And that's not, I'm not interested in that. But the point that I'm making is that, Josh?
Huh? I'm late for school.
Oh, I'm into a new show now. I really love it. I'm into Severance.
Yeah, are you?
Have you watched it?
I have not watched it yet. No.
Okay. You give it a chance when you watch it.
I will. I liked it.
Have people said that it's good other than me?
I've heard lots of people who liked it, yes.
And Ben Stiller did an excellent job. Also, Ben Stiller is now following me on Twitter again. And I just want to say, Josh, are you okay?
I'm sorry. I have some sort of narcolepsy today.
No, you look like a cartoon. You went like this. Look.
You wanted me to play it real?
I thought you were playing it real the whole time we're doing the show.
Okay.
I'm wrong about that?
I don't care.
Okay, can I look up before I go to the latest thing?
Yeah.
Can you cover for me while I look up who wrote Take It Easy?
I think I know Jackson Brown at least wrote some of it, if not all of it. It was just an Eagles.
Oh,
hit.
Okay. I thought you were saying he helped write it, and you were who wrote? This is my version of what's it called? Who wrote Take It Easy? See, you would be like, "Hey, Sammy, who wrote Take It Easy?" Singers. Okay, here we go. It's kind of like what you were saying. The Eagles embody the charm of a singer-songwriter. Jackson Brown began writing the breezy traveling tune. Who wrote this? The breezy traveling tune? What am I, 90? Yes. What am I, 65? Yes. Singer-songwriter Jackson Browne began writing the breezy traveling tune in 1971, but couldn't quite finish it. Then living at 1020 Lagoon. Were you doing the snore sound again?
No, I did.
You sure?
Yes, I did.
You weren't.
No, I was well awake so I could make a self-satisfied sound.
I did it. I was doing a bit. Then living at 1020 Laguna Avenue in Echo Park, Los Angeles, along with Frey and J.D. Souther.
That'd be Fry. That'd be Fry. Glenn Fry.
Isn't it James Fry who wrote A Million Pieces? He wrote that thing, James Fry, and he claimed he had dental work without Novocaine. And then when he got caught on Oprah, he said, I was writing, it was a memoir. J.D. Fry and J.D. Souther's right. Okay. So then they're just talking about, so I think they all their names was on it then.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But why do you make it like it's not, didn't also Jackson Browne record it at one point, or he never did?
I don't think he did. I don't know the record if he did.
I don't want to do a version for you right now. Go ahead, play me. Do you have any things you can play me that I can do a little karaoke to, where you play the tune and you see if I can belt it out like I claim I can now?
I have type 2 diabetes. I have it. Oh, yeah. He's got it.
Oh, what am I supposed to do?
I was giving you the backing track. You're the lead on that sting.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
He had time to be. Give it to me again.
I have type 2 diabetes. I have it. Oh, yeah. He's got it.
Excuse. I can't sing like that. I can't sing. That's it, Josh.
That's it.
You really were able to get me to look at me. Is it really that my parents said that stop singing, you sound horrible? Was that their problem? Is it real? Was it that when the neighbors next to the house said, we're calling the police because your son is so out of tune, our dog is sick?
Yeah.
Do you think that was about me? No, this was maybe I'm going to tell my therapist all of this anti-singing stuff was about me not realizing I can't sing.
You are the anti-siren.
You said siren?
Yes.
I don't even get that one. Oh, a siren can sing, right?
The siren song. Yes, not the thing on a cop car.
I do. You never fantasize about yourself like in a Broadway play when you're seeing something in a Broadway play and someone's belting it out and you go, that would be so cool if it was me.
No, not. I have other fantasies, but not that one. And by the way, I have sung on Broadway.
I know, but I'm saying you're supposed to be relaying to me as somebody who hasn't sung.
All right, you've
achieved many.
Just wanted to let that in there.
Well, you've achieved many things vocally because you have a great voice, but I have to believe in my voice first before I open it up.
I've made a whole thing of over believing in my voice.
I'm going to get to the Twitter.
Despite a total lack of positive feedback, I have proceeded to say.
No, people like your voice. I bet you that's wrong because I've complimented your voice before. Haven't I not?
The problem was I married someone with a great fucking voice.
Well, but it's not a competition, is it? Or I guess that's the problem. Maybe it was. Maybe you shouldn't have said, I'm going to kick your ass out.
No, I had to learn it's not a competition.
Oh, did you?
Because I will never win that one.
Were you competing with her musically?
I was never competing with her, no. But at some point I noticed that no one was complimenting my voice and everyone was complimenting hers, and that's just unmistakable.
Okay, I've complimented your voice.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have. More than most.
But then you're saying
more than most, my friend.
Well, first of all, you have a great pipes all across the board.
I have a very versatile voice, and I can do a lot of things with it. But as a singer, I don't have a distinctive, beautiful voice. But
you haven't spent a lot of time working on that. You
I've never tried to be a star.
No, but if you, well, I'm learning to sing because I'm trying to bring. Here's what I sing too. I'm trying to bring Andy Kindler to I don't want to sound stupid, but this is how I sound when I'm trying. It seems
another
like
graduate of the Bill Murray Masterclass.
That's the problem. And I think you know this too. I had done the Bill Murray impression in my mind before him.
Yeah.
Dave Higgins, a million people. And once it's done, it's done.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, he did it in 1977.
No. I did it in the early 70s in my basement.
With Dave Higgins?
No. Dave Higgins did it separately with the Captain Lucky bit.
Yeah.
They used to have a...
Again, not in 1977,
though. No. I'm sure Bill Murray came up with it first. I'm just saying that he came up with it based on what everybody does, pretends to be a singer.
Yeah. Well, having watched all these Ed Sullivan shows lately, it's like you all had those fucking singers in your life.
Oh,
back then. Yeah. You had all sorts of fucking Vegas-y, loungy singers on TV.
Well, they were also when people were trying to be like Frank Sinatra and they couldn't be like Frank Sinatra. I love Frank Sinatra, so I don't want to get this to an argument about his voice, but he came by his, like mannered singing and honestly.
All right. And let me just say that Frank Sinatra did not write Hotel California, Andy.
Andy is an idiot. That's the point of the joke. Boom, 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 boom. Welcome back to the show. 65 things, 65 things that Andy thought were animals today. And we'll be back. We'll be back with the second. Is a fig an animal? We'll be right back and see what Andy says.
It's time for questions. What do you want to know? We love your questions so much. It's half our show. Half our show.
I just realized something, and I wonder if you think this way, because you're a dog owner. I was thinking this the other day. I used to want to, when I had my kitty as a kid and the dog, I used to say, oh my God, it'd be the greatest thing in the world if you could talk to your dog. And it's like, that would be the worst thing in the world. That's the point.
Yeah.
You're not jabbering at each other.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, you don't get a dog just to have a shitty roommate. No.
Could you imagine if you took that out to its logical conclusion? You're angry. You want the dog to be, kicking in on the rent.
Yeah.
Pickles says, good day. Pickles wrote this question in January of 21. No, 7/7/22. Good day. Where did Mr. Schmicky get his schwoopy? And did you always do this, or did it develop as your memory went spleaky? Well, spleaky. This is an interesting thing. Well, it won't be interesting now. But my sister, and you said when Seinfeld would do the schmoopy, he took it from you. He took schmoopy from you. So obviously I knew he didn't take schmoopy from me.
Yeah.
But I am known as a schmoopy Jew. I'm a schmoopy type of Jew. Schmoopy, schlinky, schmocky, schmapple. But it's not original.
B.D. West.
What do you say?
I say B.D. West. Says, now that Fester coin has bittered, I'm looking to foster some grudge coin.
I think Fester coin is as of B.D. West. I say to you that I'm very excited about, and I hope you didn't just do it with a thesaurus like I do 75 times a day. I use a thesaurus all the time for tweets.
Do you really?
Yeah, not like I'm glued to it, but if I want to come up with, if the joke requires me coming up with another word for disgusting or vile, despicable, that's me.
Sure.
B.D. West comes back again and says that, Andy, I am so... Oh, did you have a comment on that?
No.
Andy, I am... Oh my God, you sound like you went to a passive-aggressive workshop.
I did.
B.D. West says, Andy, I am so disappointed that you called someone little buddy on Twitter, and that someone wasn't me. I'm going to go drown my sorrows in a mushgaletta. Oh man, I'm sorry, little buddy. I called someone little buddy probably as a joke, maybe.
Probably.
I mean, as an argument.
The way you call a heckler Scooter all the time.
Could you imagine? And what's up, Scooter? Because that's only a guy who's
Sometimes you do Skippy, but mostly Scooter.
Well, there's two kinds of dealing with a heckler. One kind is the hey, look, fuckface, I'm going to come over that table and bash you in the mouth, right? There are
that's generally not your path.
That's not my path. My path is like, come on, listen to me.
You're making me forget.
Yeah, it's not nice and things of that nature.
Dan Marsh says, hey guys, in past shows you've mentioned stand-ups who inspired you. Who are some of the comedic actors, humorists, and funny talk show guests you admired early on?
I really think these questions are designed to just throw my mind into total chaos.
Yeah.
Because I'm already liable to panic when I'm doing the show about not remembering things.
All right.
Tony Randall was always great. Guest. Is that what he means?
Yes.
What do you got? You got any? Well,
I was a big Belushi fan early on. I have to say there's probably Jim Henson influence throughout my childhood between the Sesame Street and the Muppet Show. It depends what you're calling early on, I guess.
I liked Soupy Sales when I was a kid.
Yeah. I think I remember my parents laughing at Buddy Hackett on Tonight Show a lot. I remember that was one of those, like I got he was funny.
Yeah, I don't remember Jackie Mason on the Tonight Show when I was growing up.
I don't remember Jackie Mason really until his resurgence.
I liked Stiller and Merer a lot when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And they were on, I also loved them when they acted on stuff.
Yeah.
And Merer was an actor on Hogan's Heroes or something. Maybe I mixed that up. No, because it's a sexy lady who was in love with Hogan. This is before Hogan did his own little lovemaking movies.
Yeah. His side hustle.
Wait, is side hustle something the kids came up with?
I think so.
Because Elon Musk.
We've long since ruined it, but.
Well, Elon Musk now on his new documentary that's coming out, or it's come out, he goes, you see a still that says, stand up is my side hustle.
Yeah, I don't quite exactly know if that was like he saw a picture of himself in front of a mic and said that as a caption to it, or
right.
I'm not exactly sure.
I took the worst way that he could have taken it. Where he was like basically
I think everyone's entitled to take Elon Musk the worst way possible at this point.
Plus, I'm learning that this Elon Musk was a part of this organization that's pretty creepy. It's called The Edge. And I just heard a documentary about it. It's like these are people who, when it goes back, it gets back into like Jeffrey Epstein and all these like nerd people who would go over to, who thought Jeffrey Epstein, they didn't think he was these other scientists didn't think he was bright, but they wanted to go over for the women.
Well, I was talking to somebody about this the other day. I think my trainer, and just talking about how like nerd success is almost the ugliest success there is.
Yes.
Because,
I can see what you're saying.
Because there's so much payback they feel like they have to do to the world. You know?
Are you talking about nerds who then marry like people 30 years younger than them?
Nerds of all kinds, you know. Nerds who gather acolytes. It's just a bad. It's like I said in your speech about the worst, you know, for comics, the worst thing is acceptance. It's like one notch worse for nerds.
There's so many good things like that in this speech. And another one I was going to remember, but I can't remember now. Yeah. Dan Marsh says, "Hey guys, in past shows."
No, next one.
We just did that. Shut up. Hey, I think I told you to shut up, but I meant me.
Okay.
Shut up.
Fair enough.
Shut up, repeating guy. Tweet, boing, bang, bang. We don't do songs when we introduce letters anymore. Tweet Bahara says, all through my childhood and teen years, my mother said, Rod Sterling and Star Trek. That's why I'm so messed up today. Thanks, Mom. Oh, that is terrible. My mother never could get. She was the best at not getting names right. You know, and messing up the names.
Yeah. My mom didn't do that. My mom did lyric fuck-ups, mostly.
Which many people our age can still do. Even.
Big old Jed had a light on.
What is it? Big old Jed airliner. What did she say?
She said big old Jed had a light on. And it kind of works if you sing it.
I'm sure she did not know that it was "Come On Is Such a Joy." I'm convinced that she did not know that.
She did not.
Because everybody
my mother didn't
didn't
have
know
a
that.
Beatles phase.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Neither of my parents had a Beatles phase.
My parents kind of liked the Beatles, but they were so far gone by then. They were so, like...
Allison's parents liked the Beatles a lot, but they were British.
Were Allison's parents more musical?
No, my dad was a jazz cat.
And how about Allison's? And Allison's none? Her parents
were very musical. They liked music a lot.
And did they play music?
I think they did, yes.
But your parents did not play music?
Not much in the house, no. In the car, sometimes. My dad liked seeing live music.
Oh, that's cool. Well, so I mean, I would never be making the argument that your dad was not with it.
And I was purportedly conceived after my parents saw the Adderley Brothers one night in Boston.
Okay, that'd be the last. See, that would be I would cut off ties with my parents had they told me this. How did this come up in conversation?
I don't know. It wasn't early in my life.
But so here's the thing. Either they had very little. Look, can I make jokes about your?
My parents had no secrets. My mother had no boundaries whatsoever.
Now, is that good?
Yeah, I think in the long run it is. It's also kind of funny, but I mean, I learned so much shit from my parents just because they narrated life for me.
They did not with sex though. They didn't go, "We're going to get up there."
They weren't dirty about anything, but they were non-censoring with information of any kind. They would answer any question pretty much.
Okay, how about when you were? Did they tell you not to take drugs and stuff?
Yeah. I mean, not, they didn't harp on it.
Right.
And at a certain point, they knew I was smoking pot and trusted me with it, essentially.
Okay, so now me being
and they knew I was,
you,
from the minute I was 16 years old, I was out and working in bars every night, with their car,
That's so great. My parents didn't they did not know about, they were more of an older generation when it came to they had no way they could have ever tried pot.
Yeah, my parents had friends that I know that they smoked pot with, and I know they had a supply of it at a certain point because I stole it from them.
Now, how many? I used to do a lot of swiping like that. As you well know, my mother's wallet was a mess. So I think until I was I would take just enough that she wouldn't know. I did that till age 40. So, did you do stuff like that? Steal from your mom's wallet?
No, I didn't do it with money. I only did the weed thing.
But then in the weed thing, did you feel bad, or you felt how else am I going to get it?
Well, theirs was really good, first of all.
How could it be that good back then?
They had curdled tie stick kind of weed one time. Ooh. That was the one I hit. No, it was just sort of this game almost. It was like this psychological game of how much could I steal before they actually mentioned something, which would then be outing themselves for having, it was
Oh, why couldn't I have had your parents? And now that's the new movie, hilarious movie, coming out this fall.
That was my mom. My mom's hiding place was, she had a cabinet that had a bunch of purses in it.
Oh, that makes and so there was a lot of things in those purses, right?
Well,
Did you
occasionally, jackpot. But no, I didn't.
Did you take pills? No. I stole pills.
No, I didn't. My parents didn't have pills around.
My mom did. Plenty of Xanax.
My parents had none of that ever.
Oh God, thank God! If my mom hadn't had Xanax,
if my mom had Xanax, I would have been all the way up in there. I assure you.
Yes, I think it's actually good character for me to have stolen Xanax from my mom and. Not my dad, but it's from my mom and not told her. That to me is the way a good human being operates.
Yeah.
My mom had the 1 gram ones.
Oh, those are good.
Those are good.
Yeah.
I once saw have you seen these? I don't have them. Hey, here's something. Oh, before I forget.
They have the 2 milligram bars as well.
That's what I meant. I
Yeah.
saw that. That's what I meant. Yeah. Have you? I didn't mean to watch this last night, but I did see You Bet Your Life.
The Jay Leno, You Bet Your Life, the good one.
Yes. And the questions are like, what very attractive woman married Colin Jost of Saturday Night Live
All right.
last year? Neither one of them knew. And you know what? Me at home, I didn't know. You know why? Because you watched Jay Leno ask 2 or 3 questions. Your head's swimming.
Yeah, you're just dead inside. Everything dies.
But do you think do you think he likes, and he looks like, I don't want to make fun of the way he looks, but here it goes. He doesn't look like he has not flattened, he has a big TV head still.
He's kind of become a Pez dispenser of himself.
Can you believe that someone would host that show after Cosby had hosted it? I think Cosby hosting it should ruin the memory of that show.
Or
not really.
Or you need to save it.
Right. With Jay Leno.
Right.
Is there somebody else doing it too?
Buddy Hackett did it in between Groucho and Cosby.
Oh, that's what you meant by you're watching the that version. Was Buddy Hackett good?
Buddy Hackett he was fast enough so that he was funny, but it was still dreary daytime TV at the time.
I just love that story of the makeup person who worked with Susan, and he had worked over on a Buddy Hackett shoot. There was this famous photographer who did a book of comedians. I can't think of his name right. He's a really great photographer. Susan likes him a lot. But they were doing this shoot, and the tour bus is coming by, and he runs out in the street and says, "Get the fuck out of here, you fucking!" He's like yelling at the tour bus, "Get out of here, you motherfucking!" He was an unpleasant man, is what I've heard, and I believe that he was unpleasant.
I think he was, or at least had the capacity to be incredibly unpleasant.
And he liked things like, what's wrong with saying a woman has a nice pair of knockers? No? Not close even. Right?
It didn't really capture the essence.
Right. Get me out of this, please.
Right. Jason has no classified documents. Parton says, "What gives? I've been supplying this show with gold in the form of my tweets for who knows how long, but I can't get Andy to either accept or decline an invitation? I totally believe in going public and putting people on the spot for even the smallest of grievances."
Hey, job well done. I don't remember this. Wait, I don't even. I'm following Jason.
It's probably a podcast thing. Is it his podcast that he wants you on?
Oh, is it your podcast you want me to? What are you watching? What are you doing here, Jason?
What game are you playing here? What game are you playing here?
What game are you playing? You're a movie buff. You're a cat dad. You're a drinking man with a guitar problem. I like that. You're good at video games. Meet Josh. I'm not. A voice and a face for radio. I don't know. I will be on it. I apologize. I'm usually all over it. Right?
Yes.
Apology.
I'll go next again. I'll double up since you're drinking.
Are you telling me that you just read the last question? I swear to God. I was thinking like, well, I read that one. Now it's back to him.
Sous Vide says, shouldn't, quote, Alex have moved during your lengthy hiatus rather than rushing your genius to get to a, quote, shorter show? Please let Alex know that I don't like his mundane real world stuff puncturing the fantasy world Josh and Andy create for me for a few hours a week.
I think we have to probably forward this over to.
I think he'll hear it.
Dressing down.
He'll hear it.
Unless we don't include it. No, you're right. The thing is, in general, I don't understand. What is his game? Where's all the money going from? Where's all the money going? That's what I want to know.
It all flows to Alex. That's all. He's the man you want to talk to.
Unbelievable. And of course, because he's a master. Is that why you thought he was like a master, like a karate master?
Yes.
Is that what you thought?
You brought Alex to the table, by the way.
I know I did. I'm trying to do it.
And thank God you did.
I love Alex. Alex is my son in many ways. Not really. Yes, he is. He could be. I could be. What's the matter with me? Tweet Bahar is back to say, speaking of Richard Benjamin, Paula Prentice, am I right? Well, I remember she was very, very beautiful. Paula Prentice. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember.
It was not your time period.
I still know who Paula Prentice is.
But were you attracted to her? What's wrong with me? I sound like some kind of a...
That's not my
should
game.
be arrested.
That's not my game.
You mean you weren't attracted to Jeannie when you were a kid? You, like, sexually attracted to Jeannie?
Not Jeannie in particular, no.
When did the sexuality start to hit your...
The sexuality hit early, but it wasn't with Jeannie.
Okay, I didn't even want to talk about when mine hit because I think mine hit in the womb. I would
have gone that girl over Jeannie at that phase. That girl
was very, very cute.
Yeah.
I got in trouble for masturbating in the womb.
It's a girl.
And they had little tiny Playboys that my mom would swallow.
Wow.
Okay, get me out of this bit.
No, I don't want to.
And then later on.
Eastside 76 says, gentlemen, official Mexican of Thought Spiral here. While it is true that Trump lives rent-free in our heads, it is only because he found some sort of tax break while doing so. I bid adieu.
I think that's a fine. I'm going to like that, in fact, because we've dealt with it on the show. And I think it was excellent. Excellent. Even to the... But shouldn't he bid adios?
He should.
We're going to take points off. Jake Moe says, when I do check my phone that holds the casts, I shake with glee. What does the casts mean? Am I reading this wrong?
There's a reason he used that word.
Oh. When I do check my phone that holds the casts, I shake with glee that the boys are on today. And now I say adieu, as well as so long. Iambic pentameter. I should know this.
Iambic pentameter.
I should know what an iambic pentameter, but I really don't know. Is it a syllables thing?
Yeah.
So it's like a simplified haiku.
It's not a simplified haiku at all. No,
it is a haiku.
No, it is not.
It's a haiku.
It is yet another poetry structure, of which there are many.
Are you saying
there's even a tetrameter out there?
Can you make some Seinfeld sounding sounds from me for my character who can't stop doing? Why do they haikus? Why don't they call them lokus? You know, how high is your coup? Hey.
I'm thinking, hey, how high does my coup have to go?
What if I had a low coup? You do it better than... What's the deal with these people who ask, what's the deal? All right, so get that done by next week, please.
Sure. I'm on it, Chief.
Dan Mar... Oh, your turn.
Dan Marsh says, Andy recently made fun of Adam Carolla on Twitter, and I noticed in some of the replies that Carolla's fans call him Ace. Josh and Andy, if you were miserable, irrelevant, unfunny, reactionary hacks, what would your cool nicknames be?
I would be like somebody like Pussy Grabber.
I think I'd be like Big Poppy.
Hey, Pussy Grabber.
Now, Pussy Grabber in the morning.
I'm Pussy Grabber. Now, did you say it's true you got in trouble? Now, people, I got in trouble again at the club last night. What's your name?
I'm Big Poppy.
Big Poppy. I got in trouble last night at the club. It's unbelievable.
What's that, P Grabber? What happened?
Well, I just go up to this woman and I say, how's your pussy feeling tonight? Next thing I know, I've got these two big jerks all over me. And free speech. Am I right, people? Free goddamn speech. Am I going to get canceled now? I can't go up and grab a woman's pussy because my moniker is Pussy Grabber? What do you think? What's your name again? Big Poppy? Are you Big Poppy? No.
Big Poppy.
You Big Poppy's a baseball player.
I know. I adopted it as my own.
I mean, Big Poppy, what's up with that? And also, if you
I could go with
Andy
Bambino if you want, but I think I like Big Poppy better.
If you think Andy should be able to say Pussy Grabber on the air, be the seventh caller and win some pussy juice.
Oh, Andy, why?
I really think his thing's like, I think I can use that word to joke, but I can never use under the guise that they do it this way in England.
Yeah.
I could never use the C word, even as a bit, except I used it once already in a joke.
Yeah.
A famous joke, I said.
Sure.
Please let me withdraw that. But for some reason, is it because we have established What was my first use of pussy on the show?
I just remember pussy lickers when you
That's more gross. That's more gross.
Yeah.
Well, no, but the other one's more aggressively mean.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know. What is? The C word?
A grabber's worse than a licker.
Sure.
But a licker could be in the wrong.
Pussy grabber implies some hostility in the thing.
I can't take
Pussy licker is really, that's consensual a lot of the time.
This is all getting cut out, right?
Most of the time, pussy licking is consensual.
That's what I thought until my Aunt Rose said, Azzy, get away from there. We're about to serve the Hamantashen.
I was looking for the Afikoman.
Take the Afikoman and shove it up your ass. You know why I never was popular? I was the only person doing Jack Nicholson in the 80s from 5 Easy Pieces. Everybody was like, you can't handle the truth. And I'm going, take the chicken salad sandwich and shove it up your ass. Is it my turn or yours?
That's yours.
F. Jack Barker says, got a title for Andy's worst case scenario horror movie. OCD. I like this. OCD, what you did last summer. I like that.
Good.
Give it up. Thank you, F. Jack Barker. Very good. Excellent. Now I'm going to like it because I already heard it.
Wow. I just saw the number change as you did that. Stephen Elton Yates says, have either of you ever played pickleball? What was the last sport that you participated in? I have not played pickleball.
Do you know what it is?
I do, yes. It's sweeping the nation, Andy.
Can you tell it to me in 1 second or 5 seconds that I don't?
It's basically somewhere between ping pong and tennis. You use wooden paddles and a wiffle ball, and it's on about a half size of a tennis court.
Oh.
So it requires you to move about 8 feet in any direction. And,
that's pretty good.
So
and it gives you time to get the ball.
It's become this very social pseudo sport.
Oh, so it'll be
it's really big. It's really big across the country.
I mean, does your athleticism help?
It does. It's not the main determiner. I get the feeling.
Maybe we should.
I think hand-eye coordination is big.
That's true.
But it doesn't require great athleticism.
You know, my hand-eye coordination was so bad. The first time I tried to masturbate, I pulled a toe off.
I just want to let that marinate for a while. Yeah. Bandicoot B says, what television or movie IP would you guys reboot if it was guaranteed to be good? Or what IP do you think would benefit from a modern retelling? Those questions could have the same or different answers. By the way, State of the Industry was great.
Well, thank you, but what does IP mean?
Intellectual property.
Oh, what television would you guys reboot?
Yeah.
All right.
I know you do Hogan's Heroes. But
Hogan, I'm sending you to the Russian front. What do you think needs to be remade?
I think they should do the Jack Benny show with someone else as Jack Benny.
Why? Me? Why? Hey, give me money of your life, fuckface.
I don't know.
Stab.
I don't have any. If it's something I love, I don't want it to be rebooted.
True. That's a good point. So you don't want yeah. Well, here's the thing though. If they hadn't rebooted The Odd Couple, I wouldn't love The Odd Couple as a concept as much as I do, because I don't think the play and the movie they're okay.
Yeah.
But the TV show is much better. So that would argue.
What would have happened though? I mean, imagine how horrible that would be if you didn't love The Odd Couple concept.
I like when you
imagine how different your life would be.
You had a very assaultive, like
air quote.
Insult comic assaultive.
It was a hostile air quote. It really was.
Quick and dirty. Will I say about that? Stephen Elton Yates says, I am eager to hear your reviews of the Plimpton stand-up special. He did a half dozen or more participatory journalism specials in the mid-'70s. There's a good one with GP. What am I supposed to do? Doing a bit part in a John Wayne movie. How can I know? Is it Gary Pardo?
No, it's George Plimpton, for fuck's sake.
You know what Stephanie Rule says? She says, I love Stephanie Rule, but she really has the worst ideas of things that should be like, let's get smarter.
All right.
That's what she says when she brings, and then she goes, for fact's sake.
Yes, that's nice.
Otherwise, I really do like her.
Yeah.
Because she's a nice lady. She's a nice lady, and she knows about economics. I mean, my teeth are whistling. I don't know what's happening with them, but they're whistling. I have to go down to the dentist.
Are you walking past a graveyard right now?
No, but Susan's saying it's getting worse, and and I have a dentist. He's a very good dentist in some ways, but then other times you'll say, "Hey, my teeth are whistling." He goes, "You learn to speak better." Stupid.
And you should say, "Get a milling machine."
That is what I'm going to say next time, because his thing is like, I hope he's not listening to the show, but his thing is like, oh yeah.
He can't with the whistling. It's horrible.
No, he's going to say, I only, he'll show you the lab, because he charges $15,000 to $20,000.
Sure.
Not really, but he charges a lot for a crown. And he goes, look at this. I don't trust any of the other things. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's if I told him my friend is getting his milled at the office.
It was so nice to not have to do the mouthful of goop thing too. It was just scanned. They just scanned the thing and went.
How's it going?
It's fine.
Good. That's so great. I love the way you said to me. Well, here's the thing, Josh. Is that I've been going to this guy because I got tortured as a young child because my cousin Sally didn't use any Novocaine, and it really was the most traumatic. It caused me PTSD. I'm not proselytizing, Josh says. Who's asking you? I'm gonna go. Josh wants me to use his dentist, and I think he's gonna be very hurt. That's what a narcissist thinks about.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Brian Just says, hey, Andy, you got any good Peter Boyle stories? Recently watched his 1970 movie Joe and couldn't help but wonder what he was like in real life. Not suggesting it as homework, but I would love to hear the homework song if you can cue it up. Why, yes, I can.
Homework, we should do homework. We watch a movie, then we give our take.
Now, here's the thing. Before I start, I want to say that I forgot to say the Stephen Elton Yates thing. I did watch. I was kind of fascinated with Plimpton. I didn't watch all of those, but I did watch the one where he plays in the NFL for a play.
Paper Tiger,
something like
movie
that.
with Alan Alda. About him.
Oh, is that based on him?
Yes.
Oh, I think I also saw a documentary where they showed him.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe not. Maybe I'm mixing two things up. So,
but I'm not Stephen Elton Yates. As long as we're lingering on your question, by way of answering it, I mean, I have not watched the Plimpton stand-up special yet, but I do have it tagged on YouTube, and I've thought of it, but haven't watched it yet. I'll get back to you. Is my point.
I can't imagine he's not going to be good as a stand-up because he's like. It'd be like taking Dick Cavett, who was funny in conversation, and then trying to frame it as. No, we'll see. We shall see.
I've been watching a lot of Cavett lately, and he's not that funny.
No, but we decided that we did like him as a.
We like him. We like him because he had good guests, but he's not that funny. Yeah,
not that funny. He's more corny.
He is.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, now here's the Peter Boyle. First of all, I watched the movie Joe, and when I watched it, I was 14 when it came out, and it was very. I knew that he was in that before I knew that he was in Young Frankenstein, and the only thing I'll say is that it was really great to hang out with him because he was just a great guy who was from the East Coast, and I could talk to him about the Jets. I could talk to him about John Lennon, because he was the best man at John Lennon's wedding, and he was a funny guy. I think he was a great actor too. So that's all I'll say about that.
That's all I have to say about that.
What's that from?
Forrest Gump.
Is that people is people does?
Yes.
Julian Valentich. I think I'm saying his name right.
Julian
Valentich. Hey guys, what would be the most surprising thing the FBI could have found in Trump's safe? This sounds like a top 10 list.
A book. Am I right?
An apology note to women for having sexually harassed them.
That would be surprising. K-Pants says, Josh and Andy, in light of the nobody wants to work fallacy, what's the best job you've ever had and the worst?
Did we talk about Nobody Wants to Work?
Well, it's just out there about the Great Resignation and things.
Oh, the best. I mean, usually the best job I ever had was as a waiter and a bartender. I loved it, and did not enjoy it. And the worst job I had was selling home improvements door to door.
Yeah, I mean, it's I've had one job really. In terms of
but you started so young,
non-show business, I had a job at Target, so that's kind of the worst. Best job, I don't know though.
It's a tough one.
It is a tough one.
How about doing this show?
Sure, why not?
Oh, I was going to say that when you see these, there is gets a little old sometimes on talk shows when you see these really famous people, and they obviously, or they made it when they were very young. So they obviously are coming up with some one job thing that they did. For 2 weeks I had to.
He was a grave digger. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's almost like, and everybody makes a big deal of it when they're telling the story. Like the audience will laugh, and if you can believe it, I worked in a cake shop. I can believe it. Many people work in cake shops.
That's how cakes get sold.
Oh boy. Dan Wade says, what's the oldest thing in your house? That's not funny, Dan. I'm 65. What are you trying to? Is that what is he going for? Like a crack like that?
No, I don't think he was.
I don't have any old furniture. I have I don't know, my guitars maybe. I don't know. I don't have any antiques because my parents used to have that. I do have antique stuff, but just like little stuff from my parents.
Right. Well, what's the oldest one? Uh-oh, he's throwing up in the corner. What's happening? Oh. Is that a baby crib? It's a baby doll in a crib. And what year is that from?
Maybe 1890 or something like that.
Yeah.
My mother was very big on dolls, and she even spoke to... Did I tell you that story that my father had to talk to Barbara Streisand? And they was like... They didn't want to talk to him because they already knew going in that she was like... would just return things. She's crazy. She loved dolls, but she was just crazy.
Yeah.
And then she'd try and return them and all that kind of thing.
No.
So it's like my father's avoiding Barbara Streisand's call on the answer.
Yeah, that's funny. What was she after?
I don't remember. My mom, I always brag about my mom. My mom was considered the foremost expert on antique dolls, and my parents were the foremost experts on stoneware when it first came out. But then I'm sure there's 50 to 150 other people around the country are going, my dad was stoneware
Yeah,
king.
foremost.
Really?
Foremost is a bold statement, I would say.
Well, because what happened was they got into stoneware. I think they got into stoneware before it was popular.
Yeah.
So they bought all of the stoneware really cheap.
Yeah.
And then stoneware got very popular, and then they sold all of their things for tremendous, decent amount of money and stuff like that. So they were among the foremost people.
All right. I like that.
But when you're the family, you have to. Weren't there a lot of things that you thought maybe your dad, my dad was the first person to do
No,
that
because my
back then.
dad would have corrected me if I said shit like that.
Oh, I wish I was your dad or something like that.
Seth Dick III says, and the oldest thing in my house is like a 2,500-year-old little stone oil pitcher from Jerusalem.
Wow.
It's
pretty cool.
An artifact that my mother brought back for me from the trip. I sent her to Jerusalem. I sent my mother to Jerusalem. All I got was this 2,500-year-old little oil pitcher.
And it burned for 9 days?
It did.
Dana Schwartz, our friend, and one of the original backers of the show.
This is actually, you're skipping one, though. Seth Dick.
Oh. Seth Dick the Third. So you're going to have to do Dana then.
I will. It's a long one. I was trying to save us.
I was looking at the questions from 100 episodes ago, and there were lots of questions about Andy's wang.
I remember that.
When did you last have tacos?
I totally remember that.
What?
I had tacos about a week ago. Let me just.
I told you. What talk?
When did you last have tacos? Was the last part of his question.
Oh, okay. But I told you not to do that voice anymore. We had a meeting about that.
I don't recall. I plead the fifth.
First of all, my Wang is just in the show business hall of
Wang.
You're up, baby.
Dana Schwartz says, I assume the hologram, in quotes, wasn't actually 3D. As we all know, holograms are supposed to be, parenthetically, and I'm unaware of technology to do that, even with Howie's sanitized money. Otherwise, people in the front row in Montreal could always look up and see Andy's face, right? Ha ha ha. I don't know. It is not a hologram. To be fair and truthful, it is not a hologram. But it
okay.
has,
why is it not a hologram?
A hologram is a specific thing that involves lasers and shit. But and even the guy in that article that you keep reposting about yourself says,
I don't remember reposting.
says that it's not a hologram, but you can't call it a video. Blah 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 blah. What's basically happening is it's a high def image that when it's shown in their box, their hologram box thing, there is software that gives the 4K image depth to give it the impression of 3D.
Okay, so
so it's not freestanding,
right? So this is what I was going to ask you. So early in 1992, when this guy I know showed me Mike Ditka's head in a box, that was a hologram.
Yes,
right? Because I could.
And it was kind of green. There was like that green tint to it, and yeah.
But it looked like his head was.
Yeah,
it looked like
that's a hologram.
But does it require a 3D box?
No. That's what gives it its magic. Is that it?
And is it all an illusion?
You've pinned me up against the wall.
I'm sorry, that was wrong. That was wrong of us. Are you wrong? Okay, so John Hand says. Is that right? Yeah. John Henn says, we know Josh can write, but can he spontaneously commit as well as Andy? I wrote some thought spiral material to test. Okay.
All right.
4 geniuses are in a bar. Am I doing this right so far?
I guess it's all me.
Okay. So, all right. So go ahead. Or do I read it?
Albert Einstein says, quantum entanglement would allow spooky action at a distance. Bob Dylan replies, they're tangled up in blue. As James Mason, reminds me of the time I was playing Naked Twister on the set of Lolita. I was enticingly intertwined with Sue Lyon, and a drunken Shelley Winters couldn't tell red from blue. Quite spoiled it all.
See?
Andy Kindler jumps in.
Where does that say?
Page 2.
Okay. I forgot there was another one. How do I fit in? How do we make this about me?
Me and Bob Dylan says, go to bed, old man.
Oh, come on.
Scene.
Very good. You did a good job. I would say you were the director of that scene.
Yeah. I was just going by the script.
Oh, okay. You did a good job.
John Dunbar says, after seeing President Biden praise Jon Stewart for his unrelenting advocacy work in getting the PACT Act to his desk, I wonder, any updates to the Kindler thinker raking system?
Well, here's the thing. When I was mad at Jon Stewart, someone wrote in, what about all the stuff he's done for veterans? I couldn't possibly not be proud of the fact that he's gone to the wall for these veterans. I just think people are complicated and they have different parts to them. And I think what I was talking about, I still could get upset about again because he didn't address it, never changed it. And he said a dangerous thing. He said Joe Rogan's a nice guy and we shouldn't be worried about what he's saying on the radio. But when I saw him with those people, was it the PACT Act? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
For the veterans? I thought it was amazing. It was great. You have anything to add?
I have nothing to add.
Did you ask that question?
No, I think you did. No, I think I did.
Okay. Greg Kelly says, forgive the visual, but here's a rainbow I see just this moment. I can't recall the last time I saw a rainbow before it rained. Thoughts? P.S. Hello to frontline narrator. Oh, someone's saying hi to our frontline narrator.
Why, thank you, Greg Kelly. It's nice to hear from you. Our frontline cameras were privileged to see this rainbow, previously a covenant between the Lord and Noah. Tonight on Frontline.
I don't know what he's talking about before or after a rainbow, because that would require me knowing whether an animal was a bird.
Right. Christopher Citro says, the fern I bought for the living room broke out in black caterpillars. At first I picked them off one by one and threw them in the woods. Then I threw the whole plant. The wall's bare, so I hung a sign. Picture a plant here. Any recent hopeless gestures come to mind?
Well, I know that my wife is experiencing this, where she's growing a lot of things on the terrace. We have a fig tree on our terrace.
Do you?
Oh, and the figs are delicious from them.
Yeah.
But then she has done stuff like she'll grow sage and rosemary, and then like a couple of weeks ago, these weird mushrooms came up, so we had to throw them all out.
The mushrooms or the herbs?
Everything, because they could be poisonous mushrooms.
Sure. Or they could be delicious. Why don't you try?
No, Josh, that's not how you're supposed to do it.
No, of course. You use butter. Saute it.
Right. Okay. I just thought I was really getting scared there for a second. Richard Cole says, "Hi, guys. Thanks a lot for the great podcast. I'm probably your first listener on Monday morning because I wake between 2 and 4 o'clock every day. I laugh out loud at something every week. It's usually when Josh is surprised by how stunned Andy can be." I think I'm very glad that and I didn't just rig this as the last letter, because people are going to think, oh, that's a very complimentary letter. You must have rigged it. It's the last letter. What can I do? Thank you. And thank you, Richard Cole.
And if you enjoy how stunned Andy can be, go to buymeacoffee.com/thoughtspiral and buy us a coffee. Thanks to everyone who does. We appreciate it a great deal. And you got anything?
Would just like to...
Oh, see, Josh, I would just like to say is the biggest tell.
No.
Since Trump said, sir.
Andy, get away from there. We're about to serve the